So committed to making these videos even when I would rather not. Because I don't know how many of these topics you guys are really interested in, but in true form, I'm going to talk about something that is very common and people know this as projection. Projection, according to the natural laws, is simple and easy to understand. So you could pretty much assume that everybody you ever encounter is projecting. Why? Because we live in a holographic universe. What does that mean? We are all learning from one another. And those projections that you're putting onto other people, if you own them for yourself, then you get to truly heal and align. When you project onto somebody else, so what is a projection? Let's just say that in simple terms, projection is anything other than love, joy, kindness, and compassion. Anything other than that, any other word you want to apply to something or somebody that is not one of those is a projection. So that's a psychological projection. Okay, so let's just say um, you're angry at somebody. That would be a projection. So that would be your anger. So that other person is not responsible for you being angry. But you said this and that made me mad. So then you project onto them, well, you did this and you want them to fix it. That's projection, right? True 100% ownership for your projections would be you taking full responsibility for your anger, your feelings, your emotions, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what that person did. That person is simply reflecting back to you where you need to adjust to get in better alignment with harmony, love, peace, kindness, and compassion. Okay. So that, if you look at it from that perspective, they're giving you a gift. Okay. Now, here is some tricky things that happen with projection. If somebody hates you, for example, they hate you so bad and you have a weakness or a vulnerability in your field that then gets stuck in your energy. And you think, well, I didn't accept it. Well, maybe you didn't consciously accept it, but you might have an unaware consent or agreement with that frequency of hate. So therefore, then it gets stuck in your field. Well, what does that create? That creates miasm. Miasm is essentially an energy that creates a heaviness. It's that heavy overwhelm, and it's actually kind of sticky. And it feels, it's hard to get out of. The best way to get out of it is to get in alignment. How do you get in alignment? You have awareness and you own all of your projections. Once you own all of your own projections, what's not yours will never stick. You see, it won't ever stick. So the stronger you become, the more aligned you are to peace. Now, that's not saying that, well, I think I'm peaceful. No, no. This is about knowingness. This is about creating that inner sanctum within yourself, that inner relationship where you have this knowing. That only happens when you have a pure connection with your heart and your soul, your nervous system, all your body parts, all of those working in unison, unification, right? Then you create this inner strength. When you have that, then projections can't stick. That doesn't mean that people won't project at you. I mean, people do some really shitty things. They will hate and be jealous and envious. And the best thing that you can do is get stronger within. Do not waste your time or give energy to other people's projections or thoughts. Now, For those people who are projecting onto you, the best way to address that from my own personal perspective is to know what is true for you and know that your truth is not necessarily their truth. So you can accept their perception of their view of the world, even if it's distorted, which more often than not, people have very distorted perspectives of things. The more you can go into acceptance, the more you go into alignment with it. That means that you can accept their view. You don't have to agree with it, but you can accept it and still hold on to your inner truth. Now, you don't need them to know what your truth is. You don't even need them to understand your truth. You need to know and understand your truth, and you need to operate in relationship for that. So, where does this become problematic? This becomes problematic for people when they shut down their inner truth and they go along with somebody else's idea or story about the truth, and they don't speak their own truth. So, therefore, it's stifling your alignment. That's how tricky projection can be, because you think in your mind that you're strong and no, I don't agree with that, and I don't need to say I don't agree with that because it's not going to do them any good. And they're not going to change their minds anyways. And that might be true. However, you not speaking your truth is really about a lack of alignment within you. Now, that doesn't mean that you speak your truth to make somebody else understand and accept. It means that you speak your truth so there's a relation, and that the relationship is one of unification. If you have one sided relationships, you don't really have a relationship. And this is where it can get really tricky. And I can go on and on and on about projection. But the most important thing for you to understand is that you must own all of your projections. So I'm just going to tell you a quick story. When I did, this is many years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I went on a trip to Peru, and I did a ceremony with a shaman that was world renowned. And I did a medicine, a plant medicine called ayahuasca. During one of my journeys, I was guided, and I had to go back. At this time, I was much younger than I am now. But at that time, this is when I really learned about projection, is that you have to take them all back. I had to go back to every situation, and it was started off slow and then it got faster. But every situation in my life up until that point, I had to go back and take back all those projections that I had put on somebody else. This is how you become whole. And if you ever do a life review, this is an aspect of a life review. So it's to your benefit to keep yourself in a better place of ease and alignment, to fully 100% take full responsibility for yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If you take responsibility for your emotions and you do not project, you don't have to take them all back. That means that the weight in which you will carry will be far less. Now, you might think, well, it doesn't matter. I'm dying anyways. I'll take them back then. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, you will take them back no matter if you want to or not. However, the painful process of learning and unlearning and relearning still has to happen consciously, because consciously you never die. You never die consciously unless you relinquish your rights, which people do. But we're not talking about that today. We're just talking about projection. So going back and taking back your projections is a powerful experience. And highly recommended that from this point forward, you own your own projections and realize when you're doing it. And that way you increase your awareness and you can become more aligned. And that is what we're all here to do, is become more aligned with the natural laws so we can make this world a better place. Cheers to being in sync. I am Kiana Sage and I guide people to peace. Have a great day. Bye.